final roll call vote of the states to give the Republican Party nomination, presidential nomination, to Mitt Romney. What we have just witnessed, Amy, is, of course, Mitt Romney.
We usually see a lot of, but he was somebody who went up, gave a very emotional tribute to his brother. He said, "I love you. Here are the 24 votes from the state of Michigan." Not enough votes to put him over the top to the 1144 that he needs. That's probably coming very soon, somewhere in the states that begin with the letter N, but we're close. Oh, we're at Missouri.
we are now at Missouri, and we're joined here with ABC's Cokie Roberts, and she is here watching the roll call with us to get to that magic number.
The journey for Mitt Romney has been extraordinary, and this has got to be quite a moment for him, no matter how pro forma it is.
And we should tell our viewers, you're hearing not every vote goes to Mitt Romney. Ron Paul collected a lot of delegates, and so when you're hearing these states deliver their votes, a great majority of them are, of course, going to Mitt Romney, but some are going to Ron Paul, and you'll note that once they dictate what their votes are, the secretary only records out loud Mitt Romney's votes, not Ron Paul's votes.
Which is why we don't have a running tally from the official convention. They don't want to let us know how many votes that Ron Paul got. But Cokie, let's go back to this primary process, which was remarkable. Thank you. I said remarkable. You picked bizarre. I mean, there was a point when this wasn't supposed to happen. We were talking at one point about a brokered convention.
Well, we were
talking about all sorts of things that nobody seemed to be able to sew this thing up.
No, well, we were. Let's be frank. We were begging for a brokered convention because we're reporters and we love a good story. But that wasn't going to happen. But I'm safe now. Herman Cain is out of the way, and then another one would pop up, Newt Gingrich, you know, and then people would start talking about, well, maybe other people should get into the race. Chris Christie, Sarah Palin. So it was not with a lot of love that the Republicans nominated him, and that's still a problem for him, as we will see going forward for the rest of this convention. That is his big challenge at this convention, is to make people like him.
I was thinking about that because tonight, when the program starts, Speaker John Boehner, the chair of the convention, will be the one to get things started tonight. And it was just at the end of June, the beginning of July, he was in West Virginia, and he said, I don't think unless you're a friend, relative, or a fellow Mormon, you're going to love Mitt Romney. And that he thought 95% of the people are going to the polls in November. If they're voting for Romney, they're voting against Obama. And I think that challenge still exists for him. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Although Boehner, I noticed, said today that just today, he said, well, Romney's shy. And I think there's truth to that. I think there is truth to that. He's certainly private. But we, as you well know, have an ABC poll yesterday where Romney did very well on the issues. The president did terribly on his handling of the economy. But when it came to the question of likability, the president got more than 35% more than Romney. So that's his goal. Now, you just heard a big cheer here. That was for Ron Paul. And he's got his supporters here, no question.
And that was your home state there,
My home state of Louisiana.
Giving a little shout out.
They've evacuated from the hurricane to the convention.
Hopefully they'll be okay. Now we're in New Hampshire, another key primary state. That is Tom Rath there, who's been a senior Romney advisor for many, many years now, dating back to the last presidential election, national committee man. And there you see
John Sununu,
former Governor John Sununu, who will be formally placing Mitt Romney's name into nomination, or I guess has done so.
And we expect to hear from New Hampshire Senator Kelly Ayotte as part of our kind of pageant of women and minorities that we're going to be seeing. And you know, seeing a lot of people on the podium tonight that aren't on the floor. Okay, we're getting very close here.
Now we're in my native state. Now we're in New Jersey. So
and we're getting closer.
So, of course, Chris Christie, the star of the show tonight. We're now up to 1,100. Remember, 1144 is magic number. So what state is going to come after New Jersey? Is it New Mexico going to put him over the top?
New Mexico.
Might be. A state that was at one point a battleground, but no longer. Oh, it was New Jersey. There it was. New Jersey.
Now that the Garden State's delegates are in the total, Mitt Romney has been nominated to be president, but he still has to actually accept the nomination, and he doesn't do that until Thursday night, and that frees up his general election money when he formally does that. And the Romney campaign was very specific today to make sure that we knew that does not happen until he accepts this nomination.
Well, I suppose he could do something, you know, like we sometimes do in the Catholic Church, which is do a little private acceptance, a little private baptism before you do the real thing.
So what do you think about the fact that Chris Christie's the keynote tonight? Was that deliberate? That
it did seem somewhat staged, but they swore to us all day today they had no idea which state, they meaning the Romney campaign, had no idea which state was going to put them over the top.
Oh, please.
But Koki, I want to go back to something you said earlier about the pageant of women and minorities coming up here. And there was another thing that our poll pointed out. There's a gender gap. It's not quite as big as it was in 2008, but where you see the real fissures is on the economy. Women trust Barack Obama more on the economy than men do. So what can you do just by putting women up on the stage here to go to that?
Very little. Very little. It just is it's something of a sign of respect. It's something of a way to reach out, obviously. But look, the women's vote is an economic vote, and it's all about the role of government. And women are, well, let's let him have his moment here. This is his great moment. But it is true that women they don't love government, because nobody in America loves government. But when you look at government programs, women are generally either the recipients of them, or the caretakers of the recipients of them, or they work for the programs. They work in the welfare office, or at the arts council, or in the library, or in the school, or in the daycare center. And they receive Social Security and Medicare disproportionately. I mean, we wish you guys lived that long, but you don't. So it is a different view of the role of government, and Republicans are not going to address that. That's not where the party is. The party's in a different place.
The other one point on women that came up this morning in a panel discussion that we had with senior Romney advisors, Neil Newhouse, the pollster, when I asked him, paint us the portrait of the persuadable voter in this election. We think so much of the electorate is already decided.
Right.
What does the persuadable voter look like? A Walmart mom in the suburbs, right? Like, that is how he described their target universe, that they want to speak to that suburban, white, working-class Walmart mom.
Well, Amy, you've been doing focus groups with those moms. What are you hearing from them?
Well, those women, it is true that it's the economy. It's their kids, though, that they are really worried about. It's education. It is worried about whether they're going to get a job they're going to be successful and be able to take care of themselves. They really are stuck, though. They are stuck because they're worried so much about just getting through the day-to-day that they're taking away from those things that they'd be saving for their kids. They are pulling money out of their college savings funds. They're pulling money out of their own retirement, and they know that's going to affect their kids, but they don't have a choice. And so that's that push-pull.
But you see, then that's where something like Social Security and Medicare become so
a big
important.
issue. Right. Yep.
Because it's not, everybody assumes it's old people. In fact, right now, the old people are going for Romney.
That's right.
It's young people worried about their own futures and seeing that they are not able to save for them.
That's right. And you can see in these women, they do like Barack Obama personally. We know that the Romney campaign knows that as well, right? They do not they try not to attack him personally, more on his policies. They come up with a lot of excuses to defend President Obama because they like him, they voted for him. But they also know that things aren't going to get better. They don't believe things are getting better, but they don't know a thing about Mitt Romney, and that's what these sorts of things are for. They don't know anything about Mitt Romney, and what they have heard is not good.
Well, that was what was so key in our poll. 58% said they thought that the economy would not get better in a second Obama administration. Right. Now, 52% said they didn't think it would get better with Romney either, but still, that's a real indictment.
But these are Mitt Romney's challenges that lie ahead. Today is a moment
victory.
to celebrate
That's
and
right.
a victory.
That's right.
And he ran 4 years ago and came up short, and it was a struggle this time through the nomination process, but emerged victorious with a pretty fractured party over the top tonight, and now his party for 3 days can begin to talk directly to the American people.
And of course, by far, the most important speaker tonight is not Chris Christie. It's Ann Rodney.
That's right.
And she will really be the person to start that process.
And we will bring all of that to you guys. So please, Cokie Roberts, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Tune in to our live coverage all night long, beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern, Yahoo News and ABC News. Be sure to check us out on Twitter with the hashtag 2012GOP. We want to hear from you all night long. We want you to be a part of our coverage tonight, so be sure to check it all out, and we'll see you a little later. Thanks for watching.